Coming to you live from Winton in Western Queensland, and I have with me John Elliott, Tourism and Events
Manager.
He's the manager. And here we are in the main street of Winton, and we just had lunch at the North Gregory Hotel, and I have to say it was absolutely beautiful. And you had a big feed too.
I did. It was more than I could eat.
I've come to discover in my, how long I've been here? 15 minutes of being here, that this is a very creative community. Even the chef was uber creative, to use that famous word. So, John, why is Winton so creative? What's going on here?
One of the things that really cemented Winton's place in Australian culture, back in 1895, Banjo Patterson came all the way from Sydney up to Dagworth Station, just up to the north of Winton, came up to court a young lady, and he wrote a poem to impress her. It was Waltzing Matilda. And the North Gregory Hotel over here, 3 versions before, that was where the song was performed for the public for the first time. So Winton sort of built its place in Australian society on the back of that. But since then, people come and make movies here. It's where a lot of the really big dinosaurs in Australia is found. We've got big open skies. There's a big dose of fair dinkum in the Winton community.
If you don't know what fair dinkum means, what does fair dinkum mean, John?
Well, it's fair dinkum. It's real.
It's real. Are you for
there
real?
There is a saying that the further west you go, the less lies you encounter. So by the time you get to Winton, there's a big dose of fair dinkum.
Okay. Very good. Now, speaking about creative, we've got an event coming up in Winton, and it is on the 19th to the 22nd of April 2018. I'll just bring up what it is. Tell us about that, John.
Just down the other end of the main street here is the Waltzing Matilda Centre. It's a construction site at the moment. By April, it will be finished. It's a $23 million museum to the memory of Waltzing Matilda. The council decided to put on a big event to celebrate the opening of the centre. We've got about 30 Australian artists, a couple of American artists doing a 4-day music event in town, and it's going to be huge. There'll be people coming. We've sold tickets to people in New York and to Austin, Texas, all the Australian states. So end of April, everyone will be heading to Winton.
Fantastic. And we're going to put a link in the comments, but it is facebook.com/Winton's Way Out West Fest. But like we said, we'll put a link in the comments. And mate, what else is happening in this beautiful town?
In the winter months, it seems that once the winter turns cold in Melbourne, everyone hooks up their van and heads north. So all these towns along the Matilda Way, from Cunnamulla right up to Corumba, through all those towns, Winton's on that route. So there is a mass exodus to the north of Australia in winter, and a lot of our towns have really built and engaged with that travelling market, and we've done we do a lot of events up here to try and get to different parts of the Australian public, and we have a film industry in town. So from that film industry, we have a 10-day film festival, end of June, early July, and young people from all over Australia come for that. Lots of filmmakers head up this way end of June.
Yes, and you were telling me about the fantastic facilities you have in that centre, and if I've still got some battery after this, we'll go and interview one of the other creative people that you were telling me about. And look, the sky doesn't end here, really. It feels like the sky doesn't end, does it? There's a big sky. In winter time, it's going to be a lot cooler than it is now. It's about 35 degrees at the moment. It's
amazing. Anything under 40 degrees is quite acceptable here because it's a dry heat.
Yeah, it's not humid like it is for us on the coast, and look, mate, like I said, I've been here 15 minutes. I feel like I need to stay longer. There's definitely a vibe already that I've seen, even in the chef that served us some. Sorry, we've got a bit of brightness problem here.
The sun's shining out of your ears, mate.
Happens a lot.
Chris, one of the things in Winton, doesn't matter where you live, it really is a classic Australian small town. You can walk out of your front gate anywhere in Winton, turn right or left, and you can see the edge of town, you can see the bush. And I think that connects with people that come and visit. We've got country pubs, great meals. It's a good place to visit.
And John, a bit of your background is that you're actually a photographer and writer. And in Armidale, right now you can see one of John's exhibitions. And just to read this, photographer and writer John Elliott has been taking portraits of Australian country music artists for over 30 years, and his exhibition brings together a selection of his iconic images of stars such as Slim Dusty, Lee Kernaghan, Keisha Chambers, and many others. And now you work for council, so you're a creative working for council. So there you go. There's something about being a creative that's super important to the future of the world's economy, with more potential automation and robotics coming in, and mate, you're making stuff happen. You're definitely helping facilitate those things, and I think that comes down to you being creative, and the culture here is a creative culture.
Chris, one of the reasons I wanted to come up here, I love the words to songs, and I thought I want to come and live where Waltzing Matilda was written, and the council were brave enough to give me a job, and they really are. They do super creative stuff up here, and we've got lots of people that work at the council that you wouldn't find in a council normally.
There you go.
Some of our people do really creative stuff.
One more thing you told me was there's a singing fence.
The musical fence.
Musical fence, sorry.
There's a fence that a guy came and designed and built 10 or 15 years ago. You can play a tune on the wire, and Gautier, Wally DeBacker, he was travelling around Australia before he became Gautier, found the musical fence, recorded sounds off it. So on the album that won the 4 Grammys, all the sampled sounds were recorded in Winton on the musical fence.
Yeah, and he's a multiple award-winning aria, musician, and his first album was absolutely fantastic. I don't think he has to work anymore after that one.
It's incredible stuff like that tends to happen in this part of the world.
And there's a video, you said, of him.
If you Google musical fence and Gautier, he made a really nice movie on recording the musical fence in Winton.
We'll try and find that, and we'll plug that in the comments as well. John, getting warnings about the battery there. Thanks very much for your time.
Thanks for coming to visit.
And how do people stay across what's happening in Winton? Is there just one Facebook page or website?
Yeah, if you Google Experience Winton, good website, really great social media page.
Brilliant. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Plenty more coming from the Outback Queensland on facebook.com/Beach City Life. And you can search for us on YouTube. Just search for Beach City. Cheers.